So welcome everybody. We are so excited to talk about this month, like loving on your customers. So if you guys want, I would love for you guys to like unmute yourselves if you have thoughts as things come up. But why do you think it might be important, I want to just be thinking about this, to love on your customers? So just, I think this is important that we're thinking about, or you can type in the comments, but as we're loving on our customers, we're giving more than expected, but what are some of your thoughts for why should we love our customers?
Because we're building relationships.
Yeah, we're building relationships, right? Why are the relationships important? Why are they important for your business?
It builds trust.
Builds trust.
It makes them want to continue to work with you, refer friends to you, order in the future.
Yeah, so there's some like direct like application for your business, right? Like bring in more people and more things, right? More income. So friendship, fellowship, support. I love all those, Leslie. Thank you. Okay, so why? This is Brittany thinking from a business standpoint, because this is what creates residual income. So having loyal customers means that we get to create residual income. So residual income is income that comes in without you having to have worked for it or have really tried for it, right? Bree, can you mute yourself?
Sorry.
Thanks. And literally it can be for years to come, right? Another reason that we build our customer relationships is so that at the end of the month, when that rolls around and we're trying to push for a goal or a rank, we're not stressed because it's not awkward to then reach out to someone because we haven't been reaching out at other times. Does that make sense? It's easier to get customer referrals. All of those things I think are really true. So I wanted to talk with you guys about the power of enrolling one person and what that looks like. So a person, if their first initial order is just 100, so they've just done it all based off of 100. In doTERRA, when they first order, we're going to get $100 from, or they're going to order 100 PV, right? We earn 20 bucks from that. So we earn 20%. Their second order, if it's placed their second month, we're going to earn another 20%. Months 3 through 12, if they're on our third level, we're earning a 5% commission off of them. So we'll earn $50 for the rest of that year. So that's not including if someone helps finish off our Power of 3 bonus, or if someone helps with our rank advancing and we're getting like other pools, right? Commission pools. This is just the unilevel. So their second year, if they're ordering consistently that $100, we're going to earn $60 off of them. That third year of ordering, another 60, right? So it just continues to go off of 60 in however many years. So I want you guys to understand a couple of things about this. You might think 60 bucks a year, that's not very much for one customer, right? But just realize that that's one customer, and that's the power of one, just right there, of just one person ordering. What is amazing is this multiplied over and over and over again within your business. So on your third level, you'll end up, by the time you're a silver or a gold, of having maybe 50 plus people or 20 people on your third level. And so you could take that 60 times 20 people, right? you're going to have a lot more people ordering. And so it's very small amounts, and it's built off of one person at a time, but that grows exponentially as we continue to get more and more customers in our downline. So I promise you guys, I started out with one customer too. Literally, I remember the first person that I enrolled, my first class, and I didn't do it very well. And she said, okay, so how do I order? And I was like, oh my gosh, she actually wants to order, right? But it's that one person. She still orders from me today, all right? And that was almost 5 years ago. So this is that power of that loyalty, or that the power of that happening. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Nicole. I just am catching up on that, on the chat there. All right. So how do we get, first, are there any questions with this? And Bree, if you make me host again, I don't know how to make myself host, but maybe it will go back to where you can see me. Bree said you guys couldn't see me.
No, I can see you.
Oh, you can see me. Okay.
We just only see your love your customers slide. I wasn't sure if.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry. Okay, do you guys have any questions about this? Understanding that? Does it make sense? Yeah. I don't know if it's exciting to you guys, but to me, this is really exciting. The power of one, and also the power of like connecting with people, and how just a business card can be worth $100, right? When you treat that business card like it's worth $100, you're going to treat that person differently. So how do we get customers to keep coming back to doTERRA? So one of the first things I think about when I'm trying to give customer service or help my customers is, one, I want to give them a lot of value. So every time they interact with me personally, I either want to give them kind of an aha moment. So it might be teaching them something new, and it could be as simple as teaching them how to look up something in their Modern Essentials book or on their app. Or teaching them like, oh my gosh, did you know you could put lemon in your water? So teaching them, it could be something very simple, but helping them have an aha moment. They're going to associate you with like, wow, right? Like, she gives a lot of value, or I always learn a lot from her. The other thing that I always want to do is we always want to make them feel good with each interaction. We want to make sure that they leave that conversation or that, Facebook interaction or whatever it is, feeling good and having a good positive experience with that. Another thing we can do to keep customers coming back is give them community. This is why we have Facebook groups, right? And just being part of a community or a membership builds a lot for people. One thing a gal did for me recently, I purchased some makeup from her, and she sent me a message and she said, I want to introduce you on our Facebook group to our customers, or to our other customers. Sorry, we were getting a lot of feedback there. And so I just want to know like a little bit about you. And it was kind of fun for me to be like, oh, I get to like have a little feature, right? And so in whatever ways you can help your customer shine within that community is an amazing thing. I know a lot of us might hop on and be like, we're excited to welcome, blah, blah, blah to our community. One thing we've been recently doing in the Oil Tribe is I just have like a little get to know you, and having people, type in what's one of their super strengths, or, what do they like to do, just so that we can get to know them and tapping into other people's strengths. Okay, and just involve them in the process. So as much as is possible, involve them in whatever community things you're doing. If you're doing challenges, involve them in those challenges. Maybe, so for our cleanse group right now that we're doing, I've asked a couple people to participate that might be really great at exercise or yoga. And I'm going to be sharing those videos throughout, right? So involving people, and it might even be my customers, but I know they have this strength or this thing they're really good at. And then the third thing, which I feel like doTERRA does really well for us already, is give solutions, and that's spelled wrong, so just ignore that. But give them solutions, okay? And again, I feel like doTERRA already does this really well. So how do we actually get to know our customer? Bree, I'm going to make you the admin again. I'm sorry. You're the host again.
And we don't see your slides. We just see the love your customers slides.
Oh, well, that's not what we wanted to do.
I'm like, we're not seeing that.
Oh, well, that's not what I wanted.
Oh.
You can't see any of that?
Are you in present? Maybe go to slideshow first.
Yeah, I was doing slideshow. Well, that was funny. Thank you for now telling. Like, now I get what you were saying. Now I get what you're saying. I'm so sorry, you guys. So just a second. And yeah, because that doesn't make any sense.
No, well, it
Still made sense, but it would have been better if you could see it. Okay.
Yeah, we were totally understanding what you were saying.
Okay, did you see those now or not?
Screen share.
What?
Screen share.
Yeah, I was screen sharing.
Oh.
Was it not screen sharing with you guys? I never had that issue.
No, there you go.
Okay. From beginning, and you guys are seeing this now?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been seeing it the whole time, so. Sorry about that, you guys.
Sorry, Brittany.
Okay, so this is that. Like, I made this cute PowerPoint to, like, walk you guys through this. And we'll just skip the one that I spelled wrong. Okay, so know your customer. All right. So we can't know a person that we don't ever really talk to, right? And it's really hard to help someone that we don't know. Like, legitimately give them help, give them, like, suggestions or answers to things, right? Or feature them or any of those other things. It's really hard. So how do we get to know people, and how do we do it without it like taking up all of our time? Because you might be thinking, wow, getting to know my customer sounds like a really big thing that I have to do. So here's how you can do reach outs. So I have 15 to 20 minutes that I schedule most days that I have in my doTERRA calendar as my reach out time. And this is the time where I'm going to do reach outs to my personal enrollments. And it could be a phone call, text message, Facebook Messenger. I don't do email marketing a lot, but you could absolutely do that. I recommend if you're pretty new, if you have less than probably 30 or 40 customers on your team, that you should be doing phone calls, because you should be tapping into those customers for sure and getting referrals from them and getting to know them and help building your team, and hopefully within some of those customers finding some builders in there. I do personal phone calls to my personal enrollments. Even if they were a referral to me, I continue to follow up with them. So if they weren't someone that I was already really good friends with, right, I continue to follow up with them with phone calls. And this is powerful, and this is where you're going to get the biggest, like, most relationship help, and where it's going to be easier to reach out to that person later when you need a favor or you need help with something, or I need to place an extra order, can I place it on your account? Like anything like that that starts to come up is through personal phone calls. I keep them short and sweet, and I'll give you some like little scripts that I might do. But my customers know that they're going to get a phone call from me now, and so it's not weird. The first time or two that I started implementing phone calls, it was a little weird because I maybe hadn't reached out to them in like a year and a half. Shame on Brittany, right? But now that I'm doing it regularly, it's like not a big deal, and we chat for a few minutes and then it's done. But I'm finding that my customers now reach out to me a lot more. So this is my scheduled time, 15 or 20 minutes where I do a reach out. If you don't have a ton of customers on your team, you might not have to spend 15 or 20 minutes. If you only have 5 customers, you probably don't need to reach out to them every single week, right? Not doing a ton of reach out, spend your time doing other things. But here's some practical scripts for reaching out. Hey there, I'm reaching out because I want to do a better job of keeping in touch and supporting you. And it's just kind of acknowledging like that awkwardness of, hey, I'm reaching out and it's been a while. I might even say, oh my gosh, I've totally failed at following up, or I totally failed at keeping in touch, and I'm working on being better at that, right? So you just kind of acknowledge that and just say, hey, how the heck are you? How are things going with whatever their health concern or goal is, okay? So this is going to show that your customers that you really care about them. If you've seen on Facebook that they've been sick, or a slew of other things have been happening, or if you go back and you look at if you kept notes when they were enrolling with you, and you're seeing that they have this health concern or that health concern, you can say, how are things going with your daughter's asthma, or her stomach aches, or your headaches? Ask about their specific health concerns, right? And then you could just leave it at that and just say, I just want you to know that I'm always here for you if you need anything. When I was going back through all of my customers and really doing a deep dive into following back up with phone calls, I said to them, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going back through and I'm doing these cool wish list appointments to help my customers know what will help them right now and in the future. Is that something you want to do? And if they say no, and I say, okay, no worries. Off the top of your head, before we hop off the phone, are there any challenges that you're having and I could give you some quick tips on? So it's not awkward, it's not pushy, right? It feels hopefully pretty good there. We've got a little chat. Okay, Bree, you still can't see my slides?
That was before. You're good.
Oh, it's just now showing up. Well, I guess I was just getting it. Okay. Okay, so what if they're not personally enrolled people? So I have lots of people on my team now, yay! And I'm not an enroller on a lot of them, yay, right? But maybe there was like a customer or just someone that's very casually sharing the oils that enrolled somebody else. And I noticed that person maybe placed an order but didn't do it as an LRP or something. And I am thinking, gosh, I should reach out to her and let her know that if she does it as an LRP, she's gonna get free product, right? But I don't know her at all. What I do is I personally reach out to the person that enrolled her. I might just send them a quick text and let them know and see if they want to reach out to them. And if not, I'll say something like, I was just going to do a quick reach out to them if you're okay with it, and let them know, right, that they could be on LRP. So I first want to make sure that it's okay with their enroller so they're not feeling like I'm like stepping over them. Does that make sense, you guys? And then I would just call the person up and I'd say something like, hey, Susan, so my name is Brittany Roschek, and you don't know me, but I work with whoever the enroller's name is, that I know they're friends or whatever. I work with Sandy in doTERRA essential oils, and I'm part of your support system. So life's a little crazy for her right now, but I wanted to reach out to you and just let you know that I'm here to help in any way. And then I might tell her about the LRP thing, right? Or if I'm just doing reach out in maybe like a specific leg to build volume in that leg, I'll just go with the rest of my script here and I say, so in fact, we're doing this fun wish list appointment for all of our doTERRA customers right now to help them know what will help them now and in the future. So is that something you would be interested in? If they say no, okay, no worries, right? Same kind of thing. But I just always kind of insert the other person's name and tell them that I'm part of their doTERRA support system and I'm there to help. So what do you guys think of that? Does that sound a little scary to reach out to someone that you don't really know that might be in your downline? Or it sounds great and you're ready to do it tomorrow? Oh, we got a little chat. No, this sounds great. Okay. I have actually, through doing this, been able to like reach out to people and start new builders or new sharers. Like a whole bunch of great, awesome things have come from reaching out to people in my downline that I don't have personal enroller on. where maybe someone stopped doing the business, right? There's a whole slew of ideas or different scenarios that could come up. Okay, so Leslie, saying you don't want to step on enrollers' toes. I totally get that, and that's why I suggest that you you can reach out to the enroller first and ask for permission, right? You can say, hey, I'm doing these wish list appointments. I'd love to offer them to, your downline. So Leslie, if you've got maybe a mom that shared with her daughter, right? And the mom's not working on the business a ton, but the daughter wants to work on the business. It'd be good to connect with that daughter, right? You can certainly ask the mom for permission and reach out that way. Or if there's just a customer. Okay. Is it ever awkward to, Leslie asked, is it ever awkward to do that? Is it ever awkward to ask the enroller if you can reach out? Maybe. Only if you make it awkward, I think. I mean, your awkward feeling is coming from any thoughts that you're having around it. So do I feel awkward around this? No. But I've done it a lot, so it doesn't feel awkward to me. So I think maybe the first time or two it might, but then you'll kind of get used to that. I don't know if that makes sense. I usually get a really good response from this. So another question was, do you get a good response? So I get a good response. At first, people are like, okay, who the heck are you, right? Like if I'm really calling out of the blue, they're wondering like who I am, really. So I might explain it a couple of times, right? But once I've established a little bit of that relationship and rapport over the phone, it's pretty easy. And just being super friendly. You could even slip in something like, life's really crazy for her right now, but she said you were super friendly or super nice, right? And so we just wanted to let you know that we're here to help in any way. So you just preemptively say like how nice they are, or like give them a compliment. That makes sense? And it will diffuse any like tension or like awkwardness that way. Those are good questions and total valid concerns with that. Are there any other thoughts on this?
Hey, Brittany, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So with your personally enrolled people, would you ever consider, if they say that they don't have any issues or concerns that they need to talk about with you, would you ever consider asking for referrals right there, or is that awkward?
No, absolutely. You can totally just jump into asking for referrals.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could talk about health concerns, and then you could be like, so really quick before we hang up, I have this little referral program, and you could just hop right into that.
Okay, great. And even if you haven't talked to them in a long time, you think it's probably not awkward as long as you are showing you care for them and like that?
Yeah, I think so, April. I mean, April, you're not weird. And so you'll be able to like sense from the other person if they're like, want to get off the phone, or if they're like, oh my gosh, I love my oil so much. Thanks for connecting with me. I have this question or that question, right? So you'll be able to get a vibe from them and just be like, okay, I think I want to ask this person for referrals because they're super excited about the oils or whatever it is.
Hey, Brittany.
Yeah.
So I am probably speaking for some of my leaders right now, and I can imagine if they were brave enough to like speak up on this call, they would ask you this. I think some of my newer leaders are struggling with their confidence in knowing that they have answers for people. So the idea of like following up with people may provide them a lot of anxiety. What would be your best advice for people that are trying to get comfortable with understanding, how to explain things to people, especially when people might have like tough questions about oils that they don't have an answer to? What's your script or patented answer you use when you don't know something?
Well, first of all, I will try to go for, if they're telling me like big diseases or big, I think there's someone else that's got to be muted, Bree. Or maybe I'm in charge of muting now. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not in charge.
Sorry. There we go. If there's like a big, like, like, I'm trying to think of what it is. I can't think of what. A big, like cancer, or I have thyroid disease or something, right? So those could be some scary things that might come up for people. So what I will ask people is, so what about that is like really hard or your biggest concern with that? And I'll name off a few things to give them ideas. Like, is it affecting your sleep, or is it affecting, right? I'll try to get at some of those kind of things, because we can deal with more of like symptom things as opposed to like disease type things, right? And so I'll try to offer some things that will be helpful for some of those symptom things. The other thing I will say is, oh my gosh, I haven't personally had experience with that. And so while I can look that up in the book, I also would love for you to hop on our Facebook group. And if you'd like, I can even ask it on our Facebook group. But there's like a couple thousand members on our Facebook group. So chances are someone struggled with that, and I always find it really helpful to get someone else that has actually used oils and had a result with that. So I might just push it off into like, let's ask our Facebook group. Again, bringing them back into community and still adding value to them, right? And I'll say, we can look it up in this app really quick or whatever. And again, you're still adding a lot of value to that person and does that make sense? I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Do you have
And
other thoughts?
The thing that you're emphasizing the most is that, like, when we're reaching out to our customers, we want them to know, like, you're never alone. And that's the same for our builders too. Like, no matter where you're at in your business, you're never alone. There's always an upline you can reach out to. There's always someone that wants to help you. So it's just a matter of like asking the question, or like you said, inviting people into community. Because if someone really does like have questions about essential oils, if they're in one of our Facebook groups, like even the big community Facebook groups, like the Natural Cure, where there's a bunch of people that aren't even on my team, I'm in there answering their essential oil questions though, because I care about them and I want them to have a good essential oil experience. So like, I love that you're bringing it back to community.
Yep, that's absolutely right. So, and that's the point here too, is just have some open conversation or open dialogue with people and letting them know that we are here to help. And they might come back and they'll not say anything. I've had some people that it's like a 2-minute conversation with me and they're like, nope, I'm good, I'm great. And then 3 months down the road, they're able to call me when they do have a concern, or when, something does pop up, they feel comfortable texting me for it, right? But they never would have reached out to me unless I have already been reaching out to them and made it this safe or like comfortable spot or place to reach out to. Does that make sense? So that was a great question. Thanks, Courtney. Okay, so here is our action item as we are ending tonight. I want you to reach out to 3 customers this week. Just let them know that you care. You can do that little script if you want, but let them know that you care and that you're there. I would love for you to put it in your calendar for every single week, at least a 15 or 20-minute time where you reach out to past customers. And something that I have found really helpful for me when I have it on my desk, where is it? I don't want to show you my desk, it's kind of scary, but I have a list here that I pull out, and it has a list of my personal enrollments. It has their phone number and it has their email. And I just have little check marks or little dates that I put by them. And then I know when I've reached out to that person, like the last date that I reached out to them. And I just cycle through that list.
That's such a good idea, Brittany. I love that you're sharing that with us, because I think it's really simple. If you have like that, like by your computer, you can just easily do it. But if you don't, over like enrolling people for a year, it can get cray-cray.
Right, and you forget about people. I've enrolled some people that I've never met, right? They're not on my head. I don't think about them, okay? Even though it's my job to help them use the oils, I'm still not thinking about them because I've only done 1 call with them and they've been enrolled, right? And then it's kind of like, oh, they're on LRP or whatever. They're just probably taking care of themselves. No, I'm their contact, and it's easy to forget that. So I find that printing off that list And if you really want, a shocker or something where you're like, okay, where do I start? Print off your list and you can put in last order date when you're printing that off. And you can start with the people that you haven't ordered for a while. Or if you want to start with really easy people that are excited about the oils, start with everyone on LRP, right? If you want to get really comfortable with this and feel confident, start with all the people that just ordered last month, right? That are on LRP, because those will be your people that like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. I love my oils. And they'll want to chat with you for a few minutes about your oils. So, but that's what I do. I just have that list there. If I'm in a quick bind or I'm not in a position, I've got my kids around or something where I can't call, I'll just send out some texts. And it will just be that same kind of script, like, I'm thinking about you. I want you to know that if you need anything, and then I ask, do you have any questions? So, do I text before I call? No, I don't, Nicole. I usually text after I call. So if I call, I leave a message and then I send them a text. How often do you reach out? I recommend reaching out to someone about every 3 or 4 months. So just putting it on a little cycle through of every 3 or 4 months, reaching out to people. So I guess, Courtney, going back to your question really fast, you guys, because I know we're out of time, but if someone has a big question, I don't like to answer their questions for them. So if they're like, what do I do for cancer? I point them to the Facebook group. I don't tell people, I'll go research that for you and then I'll get back to you. Because I know myself and I won't research it out for them. I just won't. Because there's too many other things going on, and if I tried to research out everyone's essential oil question, I try to give them very general knowledge to help with any oil thing they might be struggling with. So if they say, well, I've got skin cancer, I'm going to say, so anytime we have something on the skin, we're going to apply oils onto your skin, right? So, or if they have something going on internally, I'll say, you're going to want to take your oils internally. Ask on the Facebook group, and then you'll take whatever ones are suggested internally. So I don't try to figure out exact protocols for people. I just don't do protocols for people. That's me personally. You can figure out what's best for you to do in your business, but what's nice about that is I don't have people coming to me all the time asking very specific questions like, Brittany, how do I take care of my toe fungus? I'm like, go look it up. Melaleuca people, right? I could tell them that, or I could point them back to the book, point them back to the app, right, and back to the Facebook group to get support there. So, okay, that was all that I had there. It's good to get people independent. Okay.
People will go crazy, right? Like you will absolutely go crazy if you are the resource for every single one of your customers, because eventually you'll have 150, 200 customers and personal enrollments, and you can't get text messages all night. Like, this is the reason why I have a do not disturb on my phone after 8:30 at night now, because customers would say, my kid has a fever, what do I do? Like, I'm asleep, I don't know. Look in your book, so you've got to teach them those tools early. Like, I cannot condone is not the only word that's ringing in my head, but it's not the best word. What Brittany is saying, like, get them independent thinkers as soon as possible. I know it's nice to be a resource for people, especially if you are a connector, but please do yourself a favor. Get them independent thinkers and learning how to do this on their own.
So that's what those calls are meant to do, is like help them learn those resources and connect them into our groups, not for you to be the resource, right? So even though we're asking, so is there anything quickly I could help you with? But it's more of connect them back in and help them figure out the other resources. Courtney, what were you going to say, girl?
One of the things that helped me was hearing from a presidential diamond, how she thinks of it as like, when I enroll somebody for 90 days, I am their BFF, meaning I show them all the resources. I make sure they're plugged in. I'm following up with them a lot in their first 90 days so that after 90 days, I can back off and they know everything they need to know. And so I think what you were talking about here, Brittany, is it's like if you realize, oh, I haven't done a great job of following up with people, they don't know where to go, maybe they're kind of out on my organization on some random branch, this is the opportunity to plug back in with them and think about like an intensive time, like maybe a 90-day period where you are following up with them a little bit more intensely. And then by giving them such great information after that, they're flying on their own with flying colors. They're able to point their own people or people they might want to bring into the business in their own way. And it really, it pays everything that you do forward versus like making the team incredibly dependent on you, which I know I did 5 years ago. And that's why I was burnt out, stressed out a year into building. Thank God it's different now, but I love what you're saying.
Perfect. Thanks, Courtney. Okay, you guys, so action, make sure that you follow up with 3 customers this week. April, yeah.
Just one more thing I want to say. 5 years ago when I was doing the business, I was helping everybody, and not only was it stressful and hard, but you also set a really bad example. And what I mean by that is everyone looks at you like, oh, you're the ultimate resource. I could never do that. And so I realized that everybody that came behind me thought I could never do that. And that is not what you want. You want to set up a duplicatable system that everyone looks at you and says, oh, I can totally do that. You know, so that's what the example you want to set. And I think that that's something that's really important that I never realized from the beginning. And so not only does it allow you some peace and quiet at night, but it also sets your team up for success and people who are wanting to build behind you.
Love that. Love that. All right, you guys, we are going to end with that beautiful message. Thanks, April. So thank you guys for being on. Next week, you're only eligible to win the on-time call if you've contacted your 3 customers. So still show up on time, but I'm like setting the challenge. You need to contact 3 customers. And if you don't have 3 customers yet, contact 3 new people, okay? And set up some one-on-ones. So I don't care either way, you can do this. All right, bye guys. Have a good night.